What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today's a good day. Well, today started out not that great. The weather is horrible, and we came to Automobilzentrum Rhein-Neckar in Germany to drive and film their Bugatti Chiron. But unfortunately that car was sold and picked up earlier, and also the weather is not ideal, and we didn't want to drive a 3.8 million euro car in these conditions. So we have a replacement, and it is a very cool replacement, a Lamborghini Aventador SV from 2016 in a very beautiful and rare spec, an ad personam spec, so that means like an individual spec, in this grigio artis matte, which is a matte silver, very cool color, and a lot of accents. You can see the red pinstripe, but I'll show you all the cool stuff on it. Well, let's start with the company, because we went to Automobilzentrum Rhein-Neckar and kind of went to supercar and hypercar heaven. It's been 15 years since we started doing what we do, and I think this is one of the most special car dealerships I've ever been. The amount of supercars and hypercars that are scattered around there is just incredible. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens, they have a Pagani Huayra Roadster, a Ford GT and Golf livery, an Aston Martin Valkyrie, just all there. Really impressive, and a very cool company. Started by two guys, Omid and George, 17 years ago, and they are where they are now. Very impressive. So big thanks to them for letting us have a go in the Aventador SV in this incredible spec. So let's have a look. As I said, that matte gray combined with black and red accents around the car looks amazing. We've got these black wheels as well. These are 20-inch wheels for the SV, with behind that massive carbon ceramic brakes. And we've got Pirelli P0 Corsa tires as well, so quite a sporty tire. This car also has the optional matte carbon exterior pack. Super nice. I love matte carbon. I think it's a lot cooler than gloss. I mean, we got used to the gloss carbon, but this looks super cool. You can see the matte here as well with that red pinstripe, and then the tricolore flag has been painted on there, and then it stretches all the way down to the front there and over the hips here. And this is one of the most special views of the SV, if you ask me. This rear with this diffuser, which is for the SV as well, they upgraded that for this model. And then these four tailpipes that are like angled down, it just looks so cool. You also get this carbon fiber fixed wing in matte carbon in this case as well. Matte carbon engine cover, just a ridiculous spec. Now, the Aventador was introduced in 2011, and in 2015 they came with this SV, which is like super veloce, which is lightweight and more power. So, and they also addressed a few issues with the Aventador. You get a more aggressive splitter as well at the front. And let's have a look at the engine, which I believe is here. Yep. So check out that beast. 6.5 liter V12 pushrod suspension as well. And let me have a look at the exhaust, because we also have an exhaust remote in the car. But I can't see if this is an aftermarket exhaust, but it has a valve controller in the car, so it could also be that it's to control the original valve. But 6.5 liters, 750 horsepower, 690 newton meters of torque, up from 700 horsepower, so 50 horsepower pump, and also 50 kilos less than a regular Aventador, mainly because of all the carbon parts scattered around the car and the stripped interior. New exhaust as well for the SV, new exhaust system. But this is like the perfect spec, right? They only made 600 of these, as you can see, one of 600, and they made 500 SV Roadsters, so 1100 in total, which makes it a lot more rare than an SVJ. They made 1700 of those, so quite a bit more. And I mean, try and find another one in this spec. Only 600 cars and then a very special spec. So yeah, if you're interested in a car like this, make sure you go check it out. And I'm saying this before I've driven it, but I'm already pretty sure that I'm going to love driving it as well. So of course we've got the scissor doors and all carbon fiber panels here. Look at that, that is so special. And this spec is super cool. We've got red seats here, carbon fiber buckets. They are quite hardcore, but I mean, they just belong in a car like this, right? In an SV, they belong in here. So this is basically like the hardcore version of the Aventador. And then after the Aventador S came out, the SVJ is like the hardcore version of the S version. So that means that this SV actually is the one you want, because this is much more hardcore. This is like more analog, more mechanical. The S introduced rear wheel steering and upgraded dampers and stuff like that, but it's also a little bit more polished compared to this. And I think that this, you know, looks wise, this is the quintessential supercar, you know, it's a poster car. But driving and drama wise, I think the SV, you know, ticks that box even more than an SVJ or an Aventador S or whatever. So start up, very nice. And then we have that remote. So this is valves closed, and then open. Oh, sounds so good. Oh. So yeah, we're just going to have a go on the Autobahn. I am going to introduce a disclaimer here. We are going to keep the car in strada because it is wet. The Autobahn is kind of bumpy here, and this is a €500,000 car, and I don't want to wreck it. It's done 4,800 kilometers. I'm super grateful to the guys at Rhein-Neckar that we could take it out. So I'm going to keep it in strada because I want to keep the traction control on. I want to keep the dampers in the most comfortable setting as well. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go into gear. I'm going to go manual mode, speedometer on. We're already at the Autobahn. And yeah, it's been a while since I drove an Aventador. Okay, so I hope my angle is good. My GoPro, I mean, this car is enormous. It's quite a big, wide, long car, but you don't see a lot out the car, even though you do have a rear window. In an SVJ you don't have that, so that is quite nice. So even though these seats are pretty hardcore, they have an SV logo in there as well, which is cool. Seating position is actually pretty good because the adjustability of the steering wheel is really good, so that is nice. Okay, here we go. That's third gear. I can't see the gears, but should be okay. So we're going to turn around here immediately. It is quite dry, as you can see, so should be okay. Moet je dus niet zeggen. So we're going to turn around here. Should be an exit. Yeah, there it is. And we have regular stalks as well. So I've got indicators on the left here and window wipers. So they also changed the damper setup for the SV and the gearbox, everything like that. So if you go to Corsa mode, you only get like more aggressive throttle response, faster shifts and stiffer dampers. So you don't actually have more power or anything like that. And as you can see, it is wet and bumpy, so yeah. Oh. Oh yes, V12. absolutely incredible. This car, as I said, it's like the quintessential supercar, poster car to look at, but to drive this experience is pretty much unmatched for drama and for sheer like sound and the response you get from this car if you push it is just lovely. So torque wise, as long as you keep it, you know, above 5,000 RPM, the response of that engine is so good. Of course, you don't have that low down torque that some supercars now have with those turbo engines like Ferrari V8s and Porsches, but McLarens as well. But this is just like the classic supercar experience, right? Just keep revving it out, and the further you rev it out, the more rewarded you are. Oh. Now we've got the single clutch, basically automated manual gearbox that you find in an Aventador. As I said, they have tweaked it, so both at low speed and at high speed it should be a bit nicer to operate than the Aventador, but it's not as fast as some of the dual clutches out there. But I don't really mind, to be honest, because this car is about drama, and you drive this car when you want to experience that drama, right? So anytime you get in this car, you want to experience that, and this gearbox with that big hit in your back when you shift, and that slight pause in acceleration is really nice actually, because it reminds you of the fact that you're shifting gears. That's 3 something, little gap. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. It's a really good driving experience, I'll tell you that. It feels like planted, it feels solid. You've got 4-wheel drive, of course, but also those dampers, the suspension feels really, really nice. It soaks everything up in strata mode. It's not nervous at high speed as well, it's nicely tied down. Of course, you've got that massive wing behind you supplying the necessary downforce. So the SV also gets Lamborghini's dynamic steering as standard, which means that the steering, the speed of the rack changes depending on your speed. So quicker rack at low speeds and a bit less nervous at high speeds, which works really well. It's very natural actually, and yeah, it's a very good system. It's a bit less nervous than Ferraris these days. Response from that engine. So that new exhaust and an easier breathing engine, plus the rev limiter that has been raised to 8,500 RPM, means that you have 50 horsepower more than a regular Aventador. So here we go, full throttle in the SV. a very, very rare gap I just got there. Thank you, Autobahn gods. I've been praying this winter and I've just been rewarded because we had a very short window there to do something, and 3:30 is not bad. What a car! What a car! Highly limited, but Automobielcentrum Rhein-Neckar have kindly allowed us to take out this car. I mean, go show these guys some love, go follow them on Instagram, check out Omid on Instagram and YouTube. Because we're going to make some really cool things happen with these guys. And this SV, I actually prefer it to an SVJ. I prefer this driving experience. It's a bit more friendly, you can see out the back, but it sounds better than an SVJ. I love that exhaust as well, with those 4 downward facing tailpipes. Oh, downshift. Oh, there goes the plate. That is just glorious. Do we get some V12 sound? Oh, big induction sound as well if you open those windows. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys at Automobielcentrum Rhein-Neckar for letting us have a go in this incredible car. Only 600 worldwide, and this spec is one of the most special, I guarantee. So if you're interested, oh, listen to that. Oh. Amazing car. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.